Borderlands has always been one of my favorite franchises. I can remember playing the first game with my brother and finally managing to kill the final boss that is straight from some of the things I watch on those other sites. Arguably one of the best games of the series, however, is Borderlands 2. With more guns, smoother mechanics, and handsome Jack, the game really perfected its stylish humor and gunplay.
Hey, how did buckles suck?
In honor of that, I'd like to appreciate the start of this game in this video, and reminisce about some of the characters, even Claptrap. After creating our hot professor, I get up after leaving the metro station. Unfortunately, I was kicked off because I didn't have a ticket. What the conductor didn't know is that the previous mustache man had gotten too carried away with putting holes in it, to the point that there was nothing left. Doing a little bit of fisting on a cold winter night, I am welcomed to not only Pandora, but Claptrap's abode. It's very roomy, but the floor is a little bit slick. Perhaps if we were able to get a few tons of salt and spread it around the place, things would really clean up around here. My favorite art piece that Claptrap has are these portraits of these amazing ladies. It's like the space reflects the same energy found within the crashing waves of the background, while simultaneously smelling like a 13-year-old's room when they just found out the perfect source for their lustful desires. It's during this appreciation of art that the guy who drags his balls on the ground showed up and adopted Claptrap's eye into his personal Wally-like collection. I think that this is delightful, as certain countries consider this act kind, because of the sacrifice of privacy Ball Dragger is willing to give. Truly a kind soul. I spent a little bit of time learning how to play cards again. When I was younger, my family would meet up for Christmas and Thanksgiving to play games, share stories, and enjoy food. After our meal, we'd play a few games of cards, and let me tell you, playing cards twice a year is not enough practice to play rummy, or whatever the hell it is. I did get them good one year with Caravan, but they never let me pick after that one. Claptrap interrupted my plummet into memory with constantly running into things. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he should get his eye checked. That's 2 puns for the price of 1. Order now and get the third one free, just pay shipping and handling and provide your social security number. Because I'm an expert at being a virgin, after all I am a YouTuber, the early game Mongols offer as much resistance as my dog anytime I tell her to go outside when it's raining. She'll just stand there with her sad eyes penetrating my soul, as if I single-handedly snapped her siblings' necks. I then of course threw her outside anyway, because I'm a Heartless from Kingdom of Hearts. I make sure to take the time to change my keyboard settings for reload. It's normally R, but I had changed it to P because I must have been playing Gage last and didn't want to ruin my Anarchy stacks. If you aren't familiar, Anarchy is a skill that allows Gage to gain damage while sacrificing accuracy. The more stacks you have, the more both the benefits and the downsides are apparent. If you reload, all of that goes away and you start back at 0. That is, unless of course you have a skill called Discord. Speaking about Discord, you should join mine with a link in the description. That plug was so good my prostate pulsed at the thought. Grabbing Claptrap out of the hole that he found himself in, I find myself face to face with Ball Dragger. This massive creature jumps down and, like any good 3-year-old, throws a car in a tantrum. I'm only able to get one shot off before he flees and lets his minions take over. I dispatch them like all of my friends from high school did me after graduation. Except one, and you are super cool for sticking around as long as you have, even through all of my issues. After that therapy session, I run in circles, waiting for Claptrap to stop his exposition, and Angel to open up the door. Angel is this hot chick that messes with your mind. In other words, she's just my type. Angel helps us on our journey, but like any good friend, she'll stab you in the back, given enough reason or torture. Heading into the town of Liarsburg, I admire the jumpy guys as they try to get to me. You'd think with that high of a vertical, they'd either find a great spot in the Olympics or at the very least a circus. I know I laughed when I saw him go to outer space. Clearing out the town with nothing but my guns, ammo, and the emotional support you provide by hitting a like on this video, I appreciate how good my aim is. Maybe I should consider going pro. Recovering from failure with a healthy coping mechanism, I laugh at someone else's pain. I'm all for trying different things, but I'm going to stick away from electrostimulation for a while. While playing the exclusive waiting game that experienced Borderlands players know all too well, I do some parkour and steal some money before helping Hammerlock turn on the power. Before you point out the fact that I didn't help him at all, I looked cute while doing it, and I made sure to smack his hindquarters a few times as a form of encouragement and sexual advance. Besides, I did kill the 20 or so people that were squatting in the town. I continued that bloodthirsty aid in the next encounter at the graveyard. Watching this footage back, I realized that I didn't get hit once during this section of mobbing. I normally don't boast this much, but I'm not good at anything except for coming quick. To put me back in my place, the game immediately punishes me by hurting not only my pride, but my relationship with my father. We were so close before, and when I showed him this clip with my head lowered in shame, he cast me out into the world for the first time. Now at 34, I'm forced to live by myself with my grandma. One of the best parts about Borderlands 2 is the dialogue, and I think this single clip sums up everything that the game stands for.
Now be careful taking down Boom Boom. He's one of the Ripper clan, as in Flash Ripper. I don't have to tell you why they're called that. They're called that because they rip people's flesh off.
In my short time here on YouTube, I've found that one of the hardest things to commentate over is combat. This is because I'm just so unbelievably good at it that sometimes it's just best if you just admire it on your own accord.
Pretty good. Just bought a pony made of diamonds. Yeah, because I'm rich. So, you know, that's cool. Goodbye.
After slaughtering the next camp, I run into the two self-death psychos. I don't know why, but I've always liked these types of enemies, from dying light bloaters to self-death grunts. Hell, even Minecraft has creepers. The next boss fight we need to participate in is Boom Boom. At this low level, many players find this battle to be rather difficult, but utilizing the distance created by the rifle and a few critical hits, everything becomes relatively easy. Boom can prove a little bit more taxing if you aren't careful, so usually it pays to take him out first. But thanks to my wonderful patrons, I don't have to worry about money as much. By supporting my Patreon page using the link below, you can help me better my videos by allowing me to afford better equipment, subscriptions to sites and programs, and even a new computer. The relationship isn't one-sided either, as you get early ad-free videos, a heads up about what the next video is going to be, and access to a super top-secret side of the Discord server. Blowing up the door with Boom's turret that we must have not destroyed fully, I immediately hop out and run back over to the elevator. Pressing the button again, you can sneak into the room with a hidden chest. This time around I got a shield upgrade, but I still wasn't feeling like I was ready to tackle the bad dragon in the next area. Hopping back out, I see that one of the big guys has hopped into the turret, so I bailed and headed off to this section of the map to hunt some bullymong's. There are a lot of different types of people in the world, doctors and furry artists included. Sir Hammerlock seems to prefer the latter, as he hires us to get all the fur we can by punching these beefy boys with fists covered with nair. Fortunately, you can whittle them down with a weak weapon before fisting them to death. There is also another somewhat hidden chest on this boat that I like to go to when I'm struggling with a secondary. Jacob's weapons are my favorite, but there are tons of weapons in Borderlands that have randomly generated parts from different brands. It can definitely get complicated, so I just like to look at the numbers because I be small-brained. Back at Hammerlock, I pick up his rifle and immediately put it to good use killing the ruffians across the ice skating rink. The first and last time I ever went ice skating, I hugged the rail like I hugged my grandma when we found out that she was diagnosed with cancer. Fortunately, she never had to receive chemotherapy because she died there soon afterwards. The coroner described the cause of death as multiple internal injuries and asphyxiation. Since the lovable yet slightly annoying Claptrap, known for his endearing personality and an incessant desire for integration, decided to audaciously embark on the perilous task of intertwining his metallic limbs with the intricate wires of the fuse box, I, being the brave and resourceful individual that I am, found myself inevitably thrust into a situation where I had no choice but to valiantly venture forth and eradicate an entire camp teeming with nefarious bandits, while simultaneously utilizing my exceptional problem-solving skills to surmount the daunting obstacle that presented itself in the form of a formidable electrical wall. All of that is to say that I was successful, and after turning in the quest, I headed into the next area, Blackburn Cove. Among the vast landscapes of Pandora, Blackburn Cove stands tall as my personal favorite area because of its wide range of enemies and variation of elevation. I've mentioned before that the best sections of games are usually side quests, and the Borderlands games definitely confirm that sentiment. This whole section of the game would be missed if you rush through the game, so if you do end up playing it for the first time or the fifth, take it slow now, it ain't a race. I ended up getting into a little bit of a bind in this section here, and I was really close to death, but I was able to ward off its gentle embrace a while longer. Rags, not of the breast variety, can take up a lot of ammo in this area, leading to shortages when dealing with the additional set of bullymong's in the isolated iceberg. Something that doesn't help us is when two giant bullymong's appear and battle me to the death. The earth trembles beneath their massive feet as they unleash thunderous roars, their primal aggression sending shivers down my spine. My sniper rifle managed to take them down after a long battle, but phase lock certainly helped. After failing a bit of parkour and sniping a little bit more, I'm in the heart of the bandit camp. A simple mechanic that completely changes the games are the barrels scattered around the place. Shoot one and you could potentially kill multiple enemies in one shot. On the flip side, enemies can also shoot the barrels if you're close to them, so make sure you don't accidentally end up standing by one and then suffer terrible chemical burns like my Uncle Roger. He's a really kind guy, or what's left of him. The acid managed to eat all of his extremities, including the most important one, his hand. Sir Hammerlock sent us here to kill an individual who is short of stature. Much like me in my early 20s, they unfortunately feel that their height isn't good enough. Instead of inserting height-increasing soles into their shoes like I did, they decided to take a whole different approach. By riding on a bullymong, they are instantly more than twice as high as what they used to be. It certainly didn't hurt that they also hit a blunt or two before they hopped on. I also found their parents when I went to go look inside of the shops. It's amazing that they are willing to provide for their child so late into adulthood. What amazing parents. Now on my way to rescue Claptrap, he got abducted by the way, I re-kill Boom Boom for the easy experience. Some people, especially speedrunners, farm these guys several times to get to level 9 or so, but I didn't feel like doing it this run. Breaking into Captain Flint's home, I am reminded of a time in my life where my house was broken into. I woke up to the sound of shattered glass and the sensation of dread creeping up my spine. My heart raced as I realized my apartment was being invaded. Adrenaline surged through my veins, overriding any fear that threatened to paralyze me. I had to protect myself and my belongings. With a surge of determination, I quickly grabbed the first thing that I could find for self-defense, a trusty baseball bat that was next to my bedroom window in case of a fire. It may not have been the conventional choice when compared to a firearm, but it was within arm's reach and I needed a weapon. As I tightened my grip on the bats, I felt a peculiar sense of empowerment, almost as if it was imbued with a guardian spirit. Without hesitation, I cautiously made my way toward the source of the commotion. As I turned the corner, I found myself face to face with the intruders. A pair of burglars who seemed surprised to see me. Their eyes widened in disbelief, perhaps expecting an easy target. Unbeknownst to them, I had a twist up my sleeve. In a whimsical stroke of luck, I was in an online relationship at the time that required me to go to sleep in a rather skimpy maid outfit. Yes, you heard that correctly. A grown man armed with a baseball bat, ready to defend himself in a frilly maid outfit. As the burglars hesitated, likely questioning their life choices that led them to this particular situation, I seized the moment. With an assertive swing of the bat, I launched myself into action. The element of surprise was on my side and it caught them off guard. I swung with a fervor, my makeshift weapon connecting with one of the intruders, sending him sprawling to the ground. The other, driven back by desperation and shock, lunged at me. But my determination was unwavering. In that moment, I felt like a warrior defending his castle, defying the odds in an absurdly comical yet oddly hilarious encounter. We clashed in a chaotic dance, our movements fueled by adrenaline and sheer willpower. Despite the odds stacked against me, my unexpected appearance seemed to unsettle the intruder. The maid outfit, with its unexpected blend of vulnerability and defiance, disarmed him, giving me a crucial advantage. Blows were exchanged, accompanied by the sounds of grunts and thuds. The fight reached a fever pitch, and as it just seemed that my strength was waning, I landed a decisive blow. The burglar crumbled to the ground, defeated and disorientated. As the dust settled, my heart still pounding, I took a moment to catch my breath. I surveyed the scene, broken glass, disheveled furniture, and 2 defeated intruders lying on my floor. The absurdity of it all struck me, and I couldn't help but let out a chuckle. I had defended myself, my home, and my prized possessions, all while donning an outfit that would have made the most audacious housekeeper blush. Life has an uncanny way of throwing unexpected challenges our way, and in that moment, I looked up to face my next challenge. Flint, fire and all, stood above me in a finale of epic proportions. I then phase-locked him and killed him almost immediately. He can be really deadly with most characters, but Maya is absolutely stunning, especially as a slutty professor. You've reached the end of the video. If you've enjoyed, smack that like button so it flashes in a variety of colors like my balls do after a little bit of busting. Thank you to my patrons for being patient over the last few weeks as I've experimented with some different types of videos. You guys mean a lot. If you'd like to support me, feel free to click the link to the right here to receive exclusive benefits. With all that out of the way, I've been out, but go ahead and do me a favor, will ya? Have a good one.